recording. Cool. So hopefully I don't know where it's recording it, but hopefully it'll record it to the cloud, I guess. Welcome, everybody. My name is Dr. Darren Mills with Freedom Whole Health. We're going to have a different schedule of events today. We're going to do the health benefits of the foot detox. And I'm actually going to, my friend Ben is here today, and we're going to give him a foot detox and watch how the water changes. And then meanwhile, while that's going on, we're going to talk about the health benefits of it, and maybe we have plenty of time for Q&A mode and everything like that. So I'm going to slowly walk over to him and then put some these minerals into the water and kind of go from there. Let's see what I got to do to flip this over. Flip. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Now I'm going to get some mineral salt. Pardon the mess. That's kind of this is my secret room where no one sees, and I have any messes that I want to have. So I put a teaspoon. It's see, mineral mountain crystal salt. It's like pretty much like a Himalayan sea salt, I think. And I think what that does is it makes the water have more ionization. And ionization is where it draws the negative, it creates a negative charge, and that's what pulls the junk out of your feet, for lack of that scientific term. And Ben, I'm going to ask you to pull your feet up a minute because it will give a small zap when I turn it on. So now you're good to go. Now it won't do that. All right. And then let's see here. So it's starting the process. And it probably in about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, it's going to look all the way different. I'm going to take a quick look at that water right now. It's clean, but it won't be. And Ben is very different than everybody else that I've dealt with in the past, and including myself. Oh, good. The health benefits for me is I feel more energetic after I've done this, and more just detoxified. I felt more clear-headed. I've used this when I've been depressed, and I think it seems to help a little bit. I've got a whole list, but I'm just gonna talk from my experience first of what I think it's done for me. I've probably used this thing 40 or 50 times throughout the time I've had it, and I've had this thing for 15 years, so it's been very solid since I've got it. I've had to replace this is the thing I replaced, that little metal piece right there. I just replaced that maybe about 6 months ago for the first time. I just felt like it was not getting as good of a cleaning anymore as it used to get. And so I don't know if it was the probes not getting enough electricity to the thing or what, but anyway, got to spend money to make money. And so anybody that's here, welcome. We are doing it a little different today. We're looking at feet and doing a foot detox bath and seeing how productive that can be. So I'll just make a quick description of the foot bath. Basically, you put salt in the water, that creates an electrical charge, and the electrical charge creates a draw from the body's feet into the water. So it's pulling toxins out of the feet. And it's basically the word that they use a lot of times. It's called ionization. And so it has to do with neutrons and electrons and the way it pulls from the cells of the body. And it's all done through a process called electrolysis. And it's done because of the current that's stimulating the pores of the feet to pull toxins out of the body through the feet. Now, I'm going to talk quickly about the ones that I know about of all the colors. And typically it does turn orange first before it starts changing colors. Orange has to do with pulling things, inflammation out of the joints. And it helps with arthritis. And green, dark green is the liver, gallbladder. Yellow green is lungs. Brown is also liver, gallbladder. But I think it's more long-term condition if it gets to the point of brown and black. And might need to do a couple more if it's brown and black. But a lot of people's does turn brown and black, so we won't be surprised if that's a possibility here. White flecks, no, I'll just say white foam is lymphatic system. Now I'm going to have to quickly look at my notes. Hold on, I'm going to look at my notes and see what the rest. I know I've never had this happen, but if it's red, it's actually dissolving blood clots. White particles is the GI tract. I was wrong. Brown is lungs. If it has black flecks in it, which does happen quite often, they say that's heavy metals getting pulled out through the feet. That does happen. It doesn't happen too often that it's black, but I've seen that happen before, and I doubt if it'll be black, but we'll see. I think that's all I got on that. So as we can see, it's already starting to turn orange, but I've got faith. Now there's some flecks in here too. Let's see what that is. I don't know if you can see them or not. Let's see if we can see that. There's a few flecks. You can kind of see it if it goes up again through his feet. I can see them. Yeah, you can see one right by his big toe. And those flecks, what they say, they look like black flecks to me. We say, is that heavy metals? That's heavy metals. So it could definitely be heavy metals if they're black. Oh, cool. I used this, I had a bad case of eczema, and I used it as a method to reduce my eczema, and I think it helped. Because eczema is systemic inflammation that got to the skin. And so by lowering systemic inflammation, it's going to help eczema. We'll see. I will say, I think we talked a little bit about the health benefits, but some of the health benefits are improved circulation. Let's see, what else? Clarity of memory, helps with the mood, gives you more energy. Can you think of what the other ones are? Hold on, let me get my list out. Then I have Ben help me. Reduce stress, reduce swelling and inflammation, And so I will say, let's take a side note, because chronic inflammation is what creates degeneration of organs and disease of organ tissues. If you don't have chronic swelling, most likely you're not going to have a breakdown of your body with degenerative disease. And you can do that by a foot detox. You can do that by eating non-inflammatory foods. I like the 80-20 rule of eating 80% non-inflammatory foods. Now, would it be better to eat 99% non-inflammatory foods? Yeah, but that's not as much fun. And you can make up for that by doing things like a detox. And you can do also, just because I'm trying to make time up, you can do it's different types of detox kits where you eat real clean for 2 weeks and take supplements and shakes and stuff like that. And that can make just to have a cleanse, like a spring cleanse or something like that. Not sure what that just did, but hopefully we're still on for that. Okay. Hopefully you all are still seeing everything. So that's got that. And then let's see. Weight management and the metabolic processes. So it helps with weight management because it's helping with the metabolic processes. Like if your liver is getting detoxified and all these things are getting detoxified and your cells have less toxicity in them, everything is going to be able to flush out better. And it helps the metabolic pathways. So it clears the pathways of elimination, and that in turn helps a person have a much more normal size weight. It boosts the immune system. It's good for pain relief. Again, chronic inflammation, I would argue, is a huge contributor to people's pain. And that's not always true, but it always makes it worse. If you have chronic inflammation and you have pain, the pain's going to be worse if you're eating foods that are inflammatory. Let's see. Reduce stress. And I think that's just because your mental cognition's better, because your brain is tied to your gut. And your gut, if it's not inflamed, then your brain's not inflamed. And then your brain works better. And that being said, I will say everybody would like be good to get, have a healthy fat, some sort of a fish oil, because that's also reduces inflammation. That's just another top tip for you. Let's see what, oh boy, starting to get fuzzy now. It does have some white lymph flecks in there now, it looks like. You can see on the top, it has some white foam, and that's lymphatic system. And that always seems to happen with people too. But it's looking good. How you feeling, Ben?
Tingly all
So we're gonna be here about another 15, 20 minutes. And so we'll just keep talking nowadays. Now, if anybody else wants to contribute, because I'm out of things to say already. But we'll get on a topic, if nothing else. We'll find something to talk about while we're checking on this. About every 5 minutes, I'll get close to that water and we'll see the changes that it's happening. That'll give us something else to talk about. Did you see anything on here, Ben, that on your computer there that might be of interest to folks?
So like back to the chronic inflammation, the cardiologists are finding that that is the primary cause of heart disease, not cholesterol. So if you reduce your chronic inflammation, your heart becomes healthier by default.
Yes. I would say this too. It's a little off topic, but not really. Is adding CoQ10 to our diets is a good, healthy thing to do because it helps protect the heart and the muscle in the heart, as well as this overall musculature, things of that nature. And that might be a whole separate topic to look at that. But anyhow, CoQ10 is a great way to protect the heart, and I suspect it even helps in some mannerism with chronic inflammation, especially of the heart.
And if somebody's on statins, that destroys CoQ10, so they need to take extra.
Good point.
And the best food source for CoQ10 is actually heart.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, I like it. Yeah, my dad is on a statin, and so I basically, I won't use the word begged, but I was emphatic about that he get on CoQ10, and he has been. He reported to me today because it's a long story, but he needs to be on CoQ10. Well, for one thing, he's on a statin, and so I don't want him to have an issue with that. Oh, that being said, let's talk about this for a minute. We won't talk about it for a real long time. And again, if somebody else wants to chime in, there's some, for lack of a better word, scuttlebutt in the medical community that says that statins lower cholesterol, but they also make your brain weaker because your brain is cholesterol. And so I don't know if does CoQ10, have you heard, does that help protect the brain or not? Or do you know, Ben?
Not really. It's almost just the heart.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate because we people don't know that. We need cholesterol. And Ben and I were talking over dinner tonight, and he brought up a point that cholesterol is made by the liver. And I have not looked at whether or not cholesterol is manipulated by the types of food we eat. But Ben says no. Right. But we'll go with what he says until further notice.
So dietary cholesterol, the body will only take in the amount that it needs. And the liver tends to create any that is lacking. The more that you intake, the less stress you put on your liver to create. So that's good. And then it eliminates any excess in the dietary. The misnomer though is LDL is not cholesterol. LDL is a lipid that transports cholesterol. So by reducing the LDL count, the parts of your body, such as your brain, needs massive amounts of cholesterol to operate, doesn't get the amount that it needs, and leads to things like Alzheimer's and dementia. So
yeah, it's a good reason to make sure that brain is protected. If the person is on a statin, you need to figure out a way to protect your brain. Like fish oils will probably help with that. I'll just leave it at that. I think I'm allowed to say this. I'm not a fan of statins anyhow, but that's just me.
Recent studies actually show statins increase the chance of heart attack.
I've heard that. I've heard that. I know that sounds crazy, but it's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah.
So it's very possible for sure. I don't know who, let me look and see who else here. I don't know if I can tell that or not. I won't worry about it.
Hey, Darren, it's Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Um, what was I going to ask you? Oh, what is the charge for a foot detox?
Oh, thank you. That's at $40.
Okay.
It takes about 30 to 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Anybody have any thoughts they want to talk about? Oh, hold on a minute. We're going to get back to the feet. Let's look at this.
It's looking really good.
Looking sludgy. It's definitely has a lot of white lymphatics on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then has some orange. And I would say maybe some green, but not real dark. His isn't as dark as a lot of people's, to be honest. And we have 9 minutes to go until we see the final outcome of this. So it's doing good.
And I feel tingling all over my body now.
Nice.
Really interesting.
One thing that I heard recently is a person can put their hands in it instead of their feet, and it actually works more on clearing the upper body better than if you just used your feet. I don't know if it's true or not. I've never tried it yet. Most people just do their feet, but I don't know where I was reading that. So I thought I might mention that. Some people try it with their hands and it pulls out their pores of their hands.
That would make logical sense, but we definitely can do it.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that your pores of your feet are some of the biggest ways that your body excretes toxins.
Mhm.
It's the best way to put it. That being said, since we have some time, when I get a cold, and this sounds nuts, but anyhow, I put a slice of potato and put it in my sock. And if I can't breathe before having that potato in my sock, I'll start breathing fully. And how it works, I have no clue. But it opens up your lungs. It does something through your feet. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I brought it up.
it's pulling detox or toxins out of your body. Just it's
Well, that's a good point.
absorbable rooms and stuff.
So when at the end of the morning, when you wake up, if you're sick, I only do it when I'm sick, and I don't know if it would do this if you weren't sick, but the potato is totally dry. So your body has sucked in whatever it's got, and the potato is black.
Mhm.
It's crazy. So you're right. Maybe it is some sort of detoxifier, but it is probably also doing something to add electrolytes into your system with potassium and whatever else is types of goodies it's got inside of the potato.
So Darren, this is George. So how often would you recommend a foot detox?
Oh, once a month is a great thing to do for yourself.
That's
I
it.
don't. If I was like had a chronic problem, you might want to do it 3 times a week. But
Yeah.
just for maintenance, I think once a month is great. Thank you for that question.
No problem.
So we have 6 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go. Let's take a quick look at it again.
Mm.
Looking good. Definitely getting his money's worth. It's so funny that when I first started doing this, I'd ask someone, I'd say, "Hey, do you want to?" I also have a biofeedback machine, and all you got to do is put your hand on this hand scanner, and it's going to scan and tell you how healthy you are or not unhealthy. And they would say, it was just they weren't going to do it, and this was their out. They'd say, "Oh, it'll probably break your machine." And anyway, it's just funny how people know they're toxic, but a lot of times, for whatever reason, they're just not interested in detoxifying. Which brings me to a point. Oh, I wanted to say this too, because this is more talking about this particular thing. When a person, this will also, if you have, and I'm not talking about worms, but if you have small microscopic parasites, which we all do to a degree, like candida, and there's a lot of other also microscopic parasites inside of our body that partly I think this thing electrocutes and zaps. So, and then if they die in your body, until you excrete them out, it can make you sick. So you would definitely want to drink tons of water. And I'm going to encourage Ben to drink tons of water tonight and tomorrow. That will help flush that out in case that's the case. Which I want to talk about the Herxheimer's reaction. I think a lot of times they'll tell me, "Well, I feel worse after taking a supplement," or if they've been used to eating the SAD diet, which is the standard American diet, then if they stop eating the SAD diet and start opening up the organs of elimination, it will get into their bloodstream because your body won't be able to excrete it fast enough, and it will create the fictitious sense that they're getting sicker. And they'll say, "You made me sicker," when in reality it was making them better, but they just weren't willing to wait it out. And I'm convinced that a lot of times that the word patient came because person had to be patient for the healing. Now that art is lost now, but I believe that's where the word patient came from. Ben, you act like you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so some of that hurts. What you were saying, another name for it, yeah, some people call it keto flu, stuff like that. You full on feel like there's a flu coming on, but in actuality, it's not being caused by the virus. It's being caused by your body starting to heal and detox. You can also get that feeling that you start taking iodine, because everybody in this part of the country is iodine deficient. And a lot of people start feeling, "Oh, I'm feeling terrible," but it's their thyroid starting to work. It's their cells getting the iodine that they need, because every cell in your body needs iodine. I did meet somebody that said, "Oh, I'm allergic to iodine." It's like, no, you're not. What they were actually allergic to is seafood, protein and seafood.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I've never heard of anybody saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to look at this one more time before we close out, and then I'm going to stop the recording, and then if anybody has any questions, because we're just 1 minute away here. Yeah. That is pretty much going to be the final product by the time it's all said and done. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording. How do I stop the recording? I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if I can. It's me. Let's see. Do that. Oh, Emma's here. Hi, Emma.
Well, hi there.
Oh, so glad you came. Did you get to see it all, Emma?
It's very good
manifestation.
Oh, thank you. Let's see here. I don't know. Stop the recording.